All right, y'all. Let's talk about the Detroit Pistons, who surpassed their win total from the previous season yesterday on New Year's Day. Happy New Year to everybody. Can't believe that it's 2025 already. But anyway, the Detroit Pistons are now 15-18. They are competing for a play-in spot, and there are a lot of reasons for that turnaround. Of course, all the added shooting with Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr., you bring in adults in the room like Tobias Harris. You also upgrade your head coaching situation immensely by getting rid of Monty Williams, who was an absolute tire fire last year, and then you bring on a competent head coach that's an adult in JB Bickerstaff, who was coming over from Cleveland, and all of that, also not playing two bigs at the same time, has helped out their star, who has shown this year that he is not only an all-star, but has proven that he is going to be a dude to carry the franchise. Cade Cunningham. All the day one Cade Cunningham stockholders, I mean, it's not that hard to be a Cade Cunningham stockholder. He was the number one pick of the draft. Of course, he is supremely talented. Showed out his rookie year, especially post-All-Star break. Then second year, only played 12 games, was dealing with shin stuff. Showed improvements even in that time. And then the very next year, last season, under head coach Monty Williams, despite operating in a phone booth, despite having the worst coaching situation in the NBA, Cade Cunningham still somehow made a leap and made improvements. And now that there is a proper and at least very solid infrastructure, team-wise, on the court-wise, around Cade, he has absolutely shown out. Not only with the shooting, with the adults in the room, Jaden Ivey, who unfortunately broke his fibula yesterday against the Magic, and that was a tough scene to watch, especially seeing all the Pistons teammates, how they reacted. You could tell Ivy is very loved by that team. Asar Thompson's reaction in particular almost broke me. But Jaden Ivey, a ball-handling quick guard that was not only shooting well from three, shooting well from the field, he was flourishing in his third year under JB Bickerstaff this year. Last year, he was in the doghouse after having a really good rookie year, where I thought, even though Cade and Ivy have only played like 8 games together, because remember that year, Cade only played 12 games, you were like, oh, okay, these two could play together. And now this year, they really proved it, thanks to JB Bickerstaff trusting Jaden Ivey. But all of that has led to Cade Cunningham becoming the all-star player that Pistons fans were hoping for, that they knew he could be, and finally has the proper situation. So let's read out the basic stat lines. Cade Cunningham is averaging 24 points a game, 7 rebounds per game, and nearly 10 assists per game. Up nearly 3 assists from last year. We all knew coming out of college that Cade was a really good passer, was one of those archetypes where I'm not comparing him to this guy, but in that same mold of like a Diet Coke Luka, a big guard that knows how to get the defender on his hip, can control the pace of the game, doesn't get sped up, isn't particularly super athletic fast, but he is big, has handle, has IQ, smart defensively, and that is all showing out this year. And the one skill that I have been saying on this channel that Cade Cunningham needs to improve in so we can start being on the trajectory of being a rising all-star every single year of his career is the pull-up three-point shooting. The pull-up three-point shooting is something that a lot of big guards or guards in general just need, especially the last 10 years of NBA basketball, where the pull-up shot from three-point range, the three-point shooting off the dribble, that's basically a prerequisite if you're going to be a high-usage ball handler. And Cade Cunningham this year has shown that the pull-up three-point shot is in his arsenal. You'll see the numbers up on the screen, his pull-up three-point shooting since his rookie year. And this year, you can see it's by far a career high. His pull-up shooting is actually at a higher three-point percentage than his catch-and-shoot three-point percentage. shooting nearly 40% from three on over 4 attempts per game. And that has unlocked everything for Cade Cunningham. It has unlocked different coverages that Cade Cunningham can now try to get reps on and try to manipulate the coverage and try to figure out how to beat the coverage. You can already tell, like, remember Cade's rookie year post All-Star break? He really started showing the fuck out. He had impressive games against Boston, had impressive games against the Brooklyn Nets, against the Philadelphia 76ers. And that Nets game in particular, the pull-up three-point shooting really showed out. In Boston, he was so good that even Brian Scalabrine, who is terrible at color commentary, even he was blown away by Cade Cunningham. And this was his rookie year. And you could just tell right then. It was like, oh, there's the outline right there. You could see he's going to be a star, right? And the pull-up three-point shooting has just unlocked everything for Cade this year. Because look at the previous seasons. You'll see in a few videos up on the screen here, his rookie year especially, teams would just go under those picks. They would allow Cade to shoot, and they would be fine with it. Now this year, teams are fighting over screens. They're being more aggressive. Sometimes they blitz. And Cade Cunningham is just picking them apart, which is why you see a higher assist total this year. He can make every pass in the book. If a guy goes over the screen, Cade Cunningham will just get the guy on his hip, manipulate, the pick and roll coverage, and find Jalen Duren for lobs. Jalen Duren, by the way, playing better the last few games. I still hate the fact that he is mostly a terrible defender, and I'm high on Jalen Duren. He's 20. He'll figure some stuff out, but he needs to figure it out soon on the defensive end. But the lob threat is there with Jalen Duren. He could kick it out to the corners. He could kick it out to the wings, to the shooters he has around him. When you have guys like Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr., Simone Fontecchio, etc., and then you surround him with really good wing defenders like Asar Thompson, Ron Holland, who is apparently, as a rookie, just ready for all the smoke. I laughed my ass off when he was squaring up against Jordan Clarkson, and it was an immediate square up too. He's like, "Hey man, let's go right now," and it was like, "Oh shit, this rookie's really with it." Okay, all right. Tobias Harris. I know Pistons fans are already tired of Tobias Harris, even though he did play a little bit better yesterday. But my point is, a little franchise reset, just in terms of coaching, roster construction, has unlocked their best player. And in turn, he is putting the franchise on his back. And this particular skill, the pull-up three-point shot, has launched Cade into now a space where it's like, all right, he is for sure an all-star and is for sure going to be on a lot at the top of the rankings in a lot of these, under age 25 type, list and shit like that. And it is one of the key skills needed to be a high-usage guard ball handler. Now, there are some things he needs to improve on. This is the 4th year now. Well, I guess technically the 3rd year if you don't want to count his 2nd year where he only played 12 games because of that shin injury. But if you want to count all 4 years, rookie year, 58% at the rim. 2nd year, 54% at the rim. Last year, 56% at the rim. This year, 54% at the rim. If you want to be a star, that's unacceptable. Now, obviously, he's going to keep improving. He's only 23 years old somehow. But if you're a big guard that's going to handle the ball a lot, you need to be a better finisher around the rim. Now, he's been able to paper over some of that because he has evolved in different ways. Like, his 2nd year, he started pulling out the pull-up mid-range midi, and has kept that ever since. His three-point shooting, especially last year, took a leap and has now taken a leap this year just in terms of the ways he can get off his shot. So there's just ways for him to improve his shot portfolio and be more efficient. And I also think some of that is he doesn't get the whistle yet. He doesn't have the respect of the referees yet. And I think that's something a lot of young perimeter players, guys like Tyrese Maxey, etc., they haven't gotten respect from the refs yet, unless you're like a big physical freak like Zion or a Paolo Banchero or what have you. So some of that is affecting Cade's rim numbers, right? but you can't shoot 54% at the rim. But at this point, if that's my only complaint about Cade Cunningham, then I think he's in a very good spot. And he's in a very good spot that a lot of Pistons fans are comfortable with too, because there is a clear trajectory here. He has established himself as a dude, and he is going to continue to be a dude going forward.